All right, we live. Well, not live, but recording.
We're on, baby. Perfect. Trying to think. I didn't do any parlays. I just did some live today. I had some what is it? I used some residual funds that I did not pull out that because I did not win from the weekend or from the Vikings game. So I put 300 in for the Vikings, and I had 147 to start the day, and then I finished with 500. But I was
Good day, though.
yeah, I was above 500 three different times, so it kind of sucks.
Oh. Yeah, I'm down on the day. So
The Lions and the who did they play? The Lions and the Titans. Lions and the Titans were cooking live betting early when they were both scoring. They would just get first downs. It was like beautiful because I would just bet first downs, and then I wasn't paying attention. I had it on the split four screen, and every once in a while I like to bet. I like to bet first down on opening drives. So a first down, they kick it off, and I like to bet that first down right there. And every once in a while, I'll throw down like $5 on touchdown because the odds, if they're starting at the 30, they're usually either 10,000 or like 9,000, or I think like the Titans might have been 11,000 once or twice. And I was paying attention to the Browns and Ravens, and then the Lions got the kickoff, and it was a touchback. And I went in, but you know how there's a time delay, especially when you're screaming. So I went in, and I was trying to get my first down and I was going to do a touchdown, and I didn't get it in. And freaking Jahmyr Gibbs scored a 70-yard touchdown. I was like, no. I was like, oh, because $5. I think it was like $5 for like $4.50.
Oh, that would have been big.
Yeah, but then I also and it hit a couple times and then one time it hit and it freaking got a penalty. But when it's like 1st and 20 because they got a penalty or something, to do first down because I think I hit with the Titans. It was like either 1st and 20 or like 2nd 17, and it was like plus 750. And I think
that's big.
I know, and I tossed 25 on. And they got it. But I think that one was the one that was like the play before or 2 plays before on 1st and 20. I bet it, but then I got called back because of a penalty. I'm like, and then then they freaking got 3, but then they picked it up, and I was like, let's go, baby. So I'm probably gonna cool it for the day.
I'll probably bet the late game.
Who's the late game? Dallas and 49ers, right?
And yeah,
that could be a good game to bet. I usually like to get teams. I mean, I think when you're betting, you usually like to bet. I like to bet on teams that. Ooh, oh, okay. Sorry, Caleb Williams slid and got hit, and they didn't call it. I like to bet on teams that have like good offenses. You know,
that makes sense. Yeah.
So like Detroit, I like to bet the drive plays.
I have the HDMI cord right here. I could literally just play the games off of my laptop.
You still didn't turn the games on?
No, I got distracted.
But I like to play the 10. They have 10+ yard rushing play on the drive, and then they have 20-yard passing play. So it was more last year. I did it I did it once or twice. Did I do it once or twice this week? But someone a team that used to hit it a lot for me, and I think it's because they have good schemes. And I think his actually predecessor team, it hits good too, is the Dolphins, and the 49ers hit pretty good with the 10+ rushing yard plays on a drive.
Yeah, you mentioned that once before.
Yeah, the Devin McCain got a couple. I actually lucked out. I did it twice with the Titans today, and I hit both times. One time was literally like the only good. It was early in the game, but it was like the only good rush they had, and it was like 11 yards on first down. And then a different time, the next drive, which I think was the one right before half, where they ended up not scoring at the one.
Jameis Winston threw for 300 yards today.
Yeah.
300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tillman with 2 touchdowns.
He's
the Browns receiver.
And you know who had a good game today too was even though they didn't do good, Calvin Ridley for the Titans.
Yes, I benched him this week.
Oh, he had like 100 and something yards in the first half, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He had, let's see, what was it? 1 rushing attempt for 3 yards, 10 catches for 143 yards off of 15 targets today.
Yeah, that's big time.
He had a hell of a day.
Yeah,
But you know what? Good for him.
for sure.
Now I can play him next week. I played Chase Brown over him because I just traded Al for Chase Brown, actually. So I want somebody else's opinion on this.
Who is Chase Brown?
He is the running back for Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. Oh, is he number 30?
I don't know what number he is. He had 14 touches and a touchdown, though.
He must have been 30 because I saw him out there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah.
He is Zach Moss's backup.
Okay, so Zach Moss might have been 30.
Yeah.
Wow,
Zach Moss,
how many touches?
14.
As a
backup. Zach Moss is no longer the starter, so I traded for him. I traded for Chase Brown. I traded Al. I traded Amari Cooper, which Al wanted, which I really think Amari Cooper is going to do well, but I needed a flex player.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to.
Yep.
Especially what's your record? You gotta.
I am not good.
You're 1-6. You gotta throw Hail Marys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
but I traded Al for Chase Brown, and I traded him for Tyler Lockett. I gave him Amari Cooper and Jalen Warren.
Who was your number? Oh, your number 1 pick was Tyreek.
This is our other league. So
other league. Okay.
I drafted McCaffrey number 1.
Yeah, that's right.
McCaffrey is killing me.
McCaffrey. That's why I feel bad. Dylan's got McCaffrey in our league too. Anyone who I feel bad for all. You guys got bamboo.
Yeah, I was definitely
game time decision for week 1, and then actually hold on, he might not play like the rest of the year.
Yeah. After it said he was probable all week,
I know.
Downgraded to questionable about 2 hours before.
Yeah, game time decision. Just be prepared. Literally, it was like 15 minutes before where they ruled him out.
Yeah, it was like directly before, which is the worst part too. But in my family league,
Mason.
I did draft Mason too. So yeah,
drafted him.
I drafted him. I don't know why, but I did, and it worked out.
That's how a lot of my late picks are usually handcuffs. Like I got Zach Charbonnet, which worked out because I had Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
but Kenneth Walker was out for 2 weeks maybe in the beginning, and Zach Charbonnet, I think he got me like 15 points a week.
Okay, well that's good then.
When he had to step in, I drafted Blake Corum, but he hasn't done anything because I don't even know. I forgot the starter for the Rams, but he's playing great. He hasn't gotten hurt.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah. And then Ty Chandler, I had him, but I had to drop him. And
okay.
Doing anything
I did run into a question I wanted to ask you. I was thinking about this yesterday. Who is your favorite mid-tier player? It can't have any Pro Bowls, can't have any sort of accolades that would be league winning.
Tier. Ooh. There is one player that I'm going to shout out. Oh no, he actually made Pro Bowls. Never mind.
So I have my answer.
Does it have to be a current player or?
No, it can be. No, this isn't a current player. My answer. So it could be somebody that's been around for a while. Mine was James Jones because he was. I love.
Never made a Pro Bowl. He definitely made the Pro Bowl.
I don't think he did.
Didn't he lead the league in touchdowns that one year?
He led the league in touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
2017.
He was good. No, but that's a good answer because he's not amazing.
No, he had one good season.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. My one answer, but he definitely went to Pro Bowls, and I'm not even going to remember his name. Actually, do you remember the special Slater, the special teams player for the Patriots?
For the Patriots,
he definitely went to Pro Bowls as a
special he went to many Pro Bowls.
But he was amazing at everything special teams.
I kind of forgot about him. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of defensive more than offensive, but they can't. Oh, I'm trying to make sure they haven't made a Pro Bowl either.
Yeah, he had 14 touchdowns in 2012 and led the league. However,
he didn't go to the Pro Bowl.
He did not go to the Pro Bowl.
Really? Who's my player, Andy? This should be fast and easy.
It should be. I thought you would have an answer ready to go. Because
I did too.
You're one of those guys that just has names in their head for random ass players.
Oh, you know who I liked? Probably won't even know who he is. There was a wide receiver for the Vikings.
Percy Harvin.
No, Percy made Pro Bowls, but he was Jarius. His name was Jarius Wright, and he.
I remember Jarius Wright. He played for the Bears too, right?
No. He played for I think he went to the Panthers after the Vikings. We drafted him. He might have played for the Bears. It was when we had Zimmer as head coach. So then we had random OCs, a new OC every year. So we never really used him I feel like we could have, because I think he could have been a really good slot. But he was one of those guys where whenever he caught it for first down. He would get 3 catches a game, but like almost all 3 of them would be first downs. So he was a little bit probably underutilized, not used correctly. I mean, I liked him. He was just a grinder, total grinder.
Those are always like my favorite guys, though, too. The people that just like work their way up slowly and do better and better.
Yeah, and then finally get their shot and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way. Oh, yeah, Andy.
We got Daniel Carlson making a 32-yard attempt here, and it's good.
Good.
It's doing pretty good. Chargers are within scoring distance of the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. We got a whole barn burner in Washington right now, a whole 9-0.
I know. Ridiculous.
Another 3 and out, looks like. And the Lions put up 52 points? What the hell?
Yeah, they went off.
Lions are scary this year. They got quite a bit going on there.
Oh, Bo Nix. Oh, my gosh, he's got him. Oh, he overthrew him. He's so bad.
See, you're ahead of me for that one.
Oh, that's so strange. Yeah, you were just like way ahead of me on the other one.
Well, it says a replay with red zone.
Yeah, I just saw it right there. But yeah, he's so bad at the deep ball. Oh man, who scored for Washington?
Some nobody.
Was it a pass or run?
It was a pass.
Darn it, Andy.
Zacchaeus.
Jaden's got 11.
Thomas.
Caleb's got 4.
Oh, you started Caleb? Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Oh, the Raider dude?
The Raiders.
That was crazy.
That was such a bad pass.
Let's go. Are Raiders going to be the topplers?
Oh, that would be so great. It was the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, show the replay.
Patrick Mahomes,
From the
8
one.
straight games with an interception.
Oh, did they get?
Oh,
yeah, I got
was he
tipped.
hit? He tipped it. That makes sense.
Oh, yep. Nice.
Yep. Wow. Got a hand up and
Baked the camera guy out hard. Oh,
yeah.
oh no. I want to know. I would keep the Raiders about to score. Go back to the game. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was like, how are they not going to score? They're on like the 1.
Are you on red zone now or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's not.
I'm like, you have the exact same screen as me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I'll stop sharing this shit.
James Cook.
You get it? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Watch the Raiders not freaking score. Oh, did they just go for it on 4th down and miss it? They did.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? You suck.
Yeah.
You had 1 job, Raiders. You're on the 1. You just had 4 chances from the 1. And then you
up on the 1 yard line.
That's the Raiders, baby.
It is the Raiders, yeah. Oh my God. James Cook just took off that guy's helmet.
Oh, that was insane.
Okay, so who is the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL at almost the midway point? What week is it?
I think this is week.
It is the middle.
Week
season?
8. Yeah, so it's basically
Okay.
midpoint of the season. I know we talked about it, but let me think about it. Who do you have?
At this point? Oh, that's a good question. It can't be Waddle because he's been hurt. Well, not really hurt, but Tua's been hurt, so he's been.
Tua's definitely dampened.
Yes,
Both.
He's been pretty out there. So it can't be him. He's pretty much eliminated. Devontae Smith has been pretty damn terrible too, which was in our original conversation. Puka just came back and has lit it up the first game back. In 32% of the snaps I was reading, he did not play at all that game. But when he did, they specifically targeted him. So that is just incredible to me. He played for a third of the snaps, and yet he had, what was it, like 8 catches for a ridiculous amount of, I don't know. Every time he was on the field, he made a play. So he's got to be in the conversation. But at this point, T. Higgins, has he done much?
I don't know if he has. I think you bring up a good point. Puka was on my bench, which is very upsetting. But I do think it's either Puka or Cooper. With both of them back, one of them is one. Yeah. But right now, best tandem, they just came back. So obviously you need a little bit. Cooper looked a little rusty, but he came up big when they needed him. He had a touchdown. Puka, he had, like you said, he had limited snaps, but by gosh, when he was on the field, I mean, he was basically the best player on the field when he was out there, it looked like.
Pretty much.
And, I mean, a 1-2 combo right now, if they stay healthy, They're 1-2. I think you could make an argument. I know Cooper's Cooper, but I think you could make an argument that Puka's the true number 1 and Cooper's the number 2.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Yeah, I was thinking that. But honestly, what I was thinking, is Brian Thomas wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 with Christian Kirk on the field? Because you can make a serious argument for either of them.
Yeah, that's a good tandem too. It's just unfortunate that they're on the Jaguars.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Brian Thomas. I didn't know what he was going to be coming out. He looked like he could be good. I think he didn't have a full route tree, but he's looking good. He makes plays. I mean, you probably watched him with the Packers today. How did he look with the Packers?
He did pretty damn good. He was he scored on us, and it was a dart by Trevor Lawrence. So he threw a great pass right into the middle there and got a touchdown. But you know what? I was like, how can you say, who was I thinking of now? I just forgot. I had a good answer for this.
That's okay. I think this year in general, though, has been a little light on like wide receiver tandems in general, really. I mean,
has been, yeah.
You had your tandem with that was a cool design, but that did not work.
That was pretty cool.
You have like Devontae and AJ, but AJ's been banged up. Their offense just a lot of time looks out of sync. And then with Tua being hurt, that offense has not been doing anything really. The Bears, they've been cooking a little bit lately.
I mean, Keenan Allen's been hurt.
So
he's been hit or miss. So
it's hard to really.
Actually, what are we talking about? But at this point in the season, Godwin is easily the best wide receiver too.
Yeah, but he just got out for the year.
Kind of died. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, actually,
though, he has been
100%. Now that you say that, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have been like an insane duo, and they actually both got hurt. Godwin, I think, is out for the year. I think Mike Evans' injury wasn't a good injury either.
No, it was his hamstring, I think, which he had problems with before.
Yeah, and you could even make. He's been quiet the last 2 weeks, but he did have a good stretch with Jameson Williams from the Lions, where
Jameson Williams.
He was coming on doing good. Actually, no wonder he was quiet today. I'm pretty sure he gets suspended again. But he's just someone who can't stay on the field. I think he got popped for performance enhancing.
Yeah,
but
he might do that.
He was quiet against the Vikings, and then I think he got popped. So that's probably why he didn't play this week. But before the Vikings, he had a solid stretch of just really taking the top off the defense. But that offense is that's the best 1-2 punch as far as running backs go that the NFL's seen in a while, I think, with Jahmyr Gibbs and
I agree there.
They're just with Montgomery, you have lightning and thunder, and you can't tackle David and you can't catch Jahmyr.
Sonic and Hedgehog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sonic what was it? Knuckles. Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, because it's literally that what it is.
That's actually another question. Who's the best 1-2 combo at running back?
So the best running back duo in the league is Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Second best duo, you got to look at someone who doesn't have a bell cow or a guy who's gobbling up all the snaps. That could be a little difficult.
Lately, Etienne and Bigsby have been both.
That's
both
true.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, they've both been good. That offense probably doesn't help them. Or I should say, just the organization doesn't help them.
Yeah,
but
nothing helps that team.
They've both been good. They're probably in the running. I mean, because I don't think there is too many 1-2 punches in the league. I was gonna say the Bucks.
Rashad White and Bucky Irving there.
Yeah, Bucky's been good. Rashad's like your standard.
He's a receiving back, honestly.
Yeah, he's gonna do okay. He's not gonna wow you.
What about Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet?
Yep. Yeah, I think Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I really, really like Zach Charbonnet. I think he's a really good running back. He's a really good, well-rounded running back. For some reason, sometimes they just totally say we're just going to use Kenneth Walker, which is fine, especially for me because he's on my fantasy. But But I do have Charbonnet on my bench. But I do think if they split the carries a little bit more, well, it depends. Do you want your best guy out there a lot, but then you're just going to wear him out and you might not get as many years out of it? But then you got Charbonnet who could come in, I think, and probably take over. But I think they're a very talented duo. Walker's in. They don't always use Charbonnet as much as some other teams use both backs.
Yeah. I mean, Kenneth Walker is a beast. So
yeah,
you can't really blame him for that. What about here's a different perspective on it. What about the Ravens and Lamar Jackson? Would you consider him as a running back too?
Oh, him and I mean, he probably gets enough.
Derrick Henry, Derrick
Henry
and Lamar Jackson, a 1-2 combo.
He's very good, very good. They do it.
Yeah.
And then same with, I mean, you can even like Saquon and Jalen.
Yeah, that's true. Jalen Hurts. I didn't even think about that. Kareem Hunt's been very good this season.
Yep.
I don't know who their backup is. P. Ryan, actually. Samaje P. Ryan.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him do much, actually.
He hasn't done. He was better on the when he was on the Bengals. I thought he was always a pretty good backup.
So did I.
But he just hasn't done as good. And then who's I know he's back, I believe, but who was the Browns running back before Chubb?
Jerome Ford, because I drafted us. The only reason I know.
How's he doing?
He did very solid for a while. It wasn't like great, never anything spectacular, but like from a fantasy perspective, 10 to 15 points a game, pretty consistently.
Not bad, yeah. Hey, you need those players.
He was a good fill-in, and now my team's in shambles because I don't have a second running back. Chubb's back.
That's unfortunate. I didn't actually even see how Chubb did. Has he done anything since he's back?
He did pretty good last week. Nothing great, but he did pretty good.
Gotcha. I am not used to watching Red Zone, and Red Zone flies between games.
It's so fast. Like,
I can't even. It's like so distracting. Like boom, 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 boom.
Like you have to be looking at it at all times, otherwise you will miss something.
I
like Red Zone because there's no commercials. I have an extreme hatred toward all ads.
Oh yeah.
So any commercials is my worst enemy.
Now, do you watch Red Zone when the Packers are on?
No.
You watch?
I just not.
Yeah, I can't.
Just that game. I was upstairs watching for the Packers game, and I just came down here for this. But anyways, I was watching the Packers on one screen, and then I have another tab open on Red Zone, and on a commercial for the Packers, I just switched to that Red Zone tab.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And
Alvin Ridley with 142 yards today.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, and I don't know if you were able to that game. He looked good.
I didn't see any of it.
He did have a fumble.
Any of the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, because you're watching the Packers.
Yep.
So Calvin Ridley looked good. You could definitely see why. Like he was a first-round draft pick. He took over that game, and I think they're definitely rebuilding. They need a quarterback because Mason Rudolph was just your prototypical
Mason Rudolph. I thought it was Will Levi.
Mason Rudolph was starting this game.
Really? I did not know that. Okay.
And I'll tell you what, the first 2 drives, I think it was the first 2 drives that they scored on, or I guess let's say the first quarter or whatever. But they looked good, and he looked good. He was throwing some dots, but he also showed why he's just not a starting quarterback because he threw some horrendous picks.
Yeah,
and then you could just tell also why they are who we thought they were, and that they're just not that good of a team. They made so many mistakes, turnovers. Their special teams today, I'll give Lions their flowers. They looked amazing on special teams in all aspects. But the Titans, my gosh, they could not cover kickoffs. They could not cover punts. I'm pretty sure the Raymonds for the Detroit Lions, he had a huge punt return.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then he had a huge touchdown punt return. And then before that, they had a huge, they kicked it short, which I understand kicking it short, I guess. But if I'm a coach, I'm telling my kicker to blast it. Give him at the 30. They still got to drive 70. But they kicked it short, and the guy returned it 70 yards. And you're playing a team where you're not a good team, and they're a very good team. You got to win special teams, or at least you can't lose special teams. And they lost special teams bad. And you also got to keep the turnovers down. And they gave up too many turnovers. They just, but you could see the records are how they played, obviously, because it was 52-14.
Yeah, it was up there. So, in your opinion, what do the Titans have to do moving forward in the season? Because obviously, get Calvin Ridley involved. Based on what we saw today, he can do it, and they don't have anybody else. Pollard, I think, is the running back.
Yeah.
What did he do today?
The Lions do have a good run defense. He looked okay, but I think Pollard got exposed a little bit when he was on Detroit or Dallas. Was that he's a change of pace back. He's someone that splits carries with somebody. You give someone who could be like your Zeke when Zeke was Zeke, and then you put Pollard in there for the speed, change of pace back. They could split carries, 50-50, and he'll give you the bang. But he didn't look nothing special. And if I'm the Lions, that was a run too. If I'm the Lions, if I'm the Titans, coming away from this Lions game, I might be sellers at the trade deadline, because I'm gonna try to get a QB.
I feel like, yes, I agree there. The Titans need a QB because I don't think Will Levis is that.
No.
But based on what you said, Pollard.
I'm keeping Ridley.
You're keeping Ridley. I mean, he's a game changer. Yeah, I agree there. Based on what you said, Pollard isn't that number one back that most teams are looking for.
I think
I'm curious. Is Spears not the back to back him up then? Because he was kind of known as like a pass catching back, right?
Yeah.
Spears.
If I'm them, I mean, I think Pollard's locked up for. I don't think that was just a 1 year.
Oh, is it? Okay, I can look it up.
Yeah, but if regardless, I'm of the belief that if you got at least 7 draft picks, because I know sometimes you've traded in the past and whatnot, but if you got 7 draft picks or even 6, I'm drafting a running back every year. I'm drafting a running back every year. I'm drafting a running back in the 5th or 6th round.
Okay. Because I'm sitting here like a first round running back.
No.
That's a huge commitment to make at that point. But
you see it all the time.
5th or 6th round running back, I could see. That's what honestly the Packers do that most years.
Mm-hmm.
They always draft a running back. They draft a receiver in the 5th, 6th, and 7th every year. Anyways, I think drafting a running back late is a great idea. I agree there.
Yeah, I'm a believer of that because and same with the wide receivers. I want to get at least one. I don't want to leave a draft without at least a running back or a wide receiver late round, because you see it all the time where there's wide receivers that are late round picks that are, they just, for some reason, they're just going to shine.
Terry McLaurin.
Exactly. Yeah. Terry McLaurin. I believe Terry McLaurin is over the past couple of years, since he's been in the league, I think Scary Terry has been probably at least top 10, but he's probably borderline top 5 wide receiver. He's just had the Washington Commanders as their QB carousel, but he's good. He's good. But yeah, late round picks, I would always want to leave a draft with a running back and a wide receiver, because you see all the time where they hit, and if they don't hit, try to get them on special teams. You always need people to fill out the roster, and if they don't hit, they're only a 5th or 6th or 7th or whatever, and then just keep rotating them in. You keep every year, you're eventually one of those years you're gonna hit on them. I mean, look at the Packers; they got riches of later round wide receivers. No,
yeah, Christian Watson is a 2nd rounder. He's by far. Jaden Reed was the 2nd too. So Jaden Reed, Christian Watson.
Okay.
Dobbs was a 4th. Wicks, I think, was a 6th.
And Wicks looks
Tucker
good.
Kraft was a 3rd. Musgrave was a 2nd. They don't have any first rounders. It's all 2nd, 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think a lot. If a big sweet spot is that 2nd, 4th, or 5th for wide receivers, especially. I feel like you see a lot of good wide receivers in that range. You might not get. Obviously, there's going to be people like your Marvin Harrison Jr., your Justin Jefferson, your Calvin Johnson, where you got to draft them. You got to draft them in the first round. They're just absolute talents.
They're just that good, yeah. So, in your opinion, if you don't have the opportunity to draft one of those guys, is waiting until a later round to the guy that you want a better option going forward, or would you rather take somebody that's kind of just there? Like you have to get the best available, whatever's at that spot for a specific position. So like if you need, because everybody was heavy on the Packers, oh, we need a wide receiver for I don't even know how long. Yeah, for forever. And now you know what happened? They don't need a wide receiver. Everybody's saying they have so many weapons, but everybody was also saying they don't have any weapons 2 years ago when they had all these guys still on the roster. So
yeah, I think I don't believe in drafting like the fourth best guy just because you need a wide receiver.
Okay.
I do want to do like best player available, but you want to rank those. I think you have ladders or like kind of a stair system where you got a group of guys that you might not even be able to draft them, but they're your top guys, and then you go down to another tier that you'll have the players that are in that group, and you might rank them in that order on that, and then you have another tier, another tier, another tier, another tier, and you don't want to, if there's a player in a tier above, but you want a wide receiver, but there's a player in the tier above, you take that player because you're going to go best player. But if they're in the same tier, then go with the position of need for sure. I think that can give you good results, but you do have to, sometimes you can have a bag of riches, but if they're all silver and none of them are gold, sometimes it does help to have a little gold.
My opinion is if it's not that game-breaking wide receiver like Calvin Johnson or like Marvin Harrison Jr. or like one of those like top-of-the-line wide receivers, is wait until you find one you like. Like, I just said, oh, God damn it. Anyways, in my opinion, that
well, you can see
there's physical attributes you look for in a wide receiver because it's such a athletic position. That's my not physical position. I think that's better. But you have to be fast. You have to be strong. You have to be quick off the ball. You have to have the acceleration to get out of routes. You have to have a great change of speed. You have to look for those in a wide receiver one, no matter what the situation is. If they don't have those, I don't think they'll succeed 90% of the time. Anyways.
Yeah, as a one, for sure.
Correct. So that is, I would look for those things before anything else. So if they don't have that, that's what I would look for in like the later rounds. Say they didn't produce in college, but they have all those measurables, and then they fall to like the third or the fourth. Those are the things I would look for, and those are the players that I would take because they have that ability. Granted, they probably have fallen for a reason. Granted,
exactly,
it would be like off the field issues, or maybe they were just not able to catch the ball, which is kind of important for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
But
what's the number one thing you're looking for in a wide receiver then? Later round.
Probably acceleration.
Acceleration? That's a good one. I'm probably looking at route running.
I mean, it all kind of ties together. You need to have good acceleration to excel at route running too. If you can't get out of your break, then you don't have good route running.
For sure. Yeah, you're going to have the acceleration if you're a good route runner, usually. But yeah, if someone can run a pretty full route tree, that's one less thing you have to teach them.
That's true. I never thought about like a full route tree to think about like running different routes and doing everything. Yeah, that's a good point.
You could just plug them, and you could teach whatever. A lot of times, I feel like that might be if someone can run a full route tree and they're a later round. It's most likely like usually I feel like it might be speed. They might not have that game break speed, top end speed, but that's fine. I'm like if they're a fourth or fifth rounder, I don't per se think I'm looking for a number one.
Yeah, I agree.
But you could also, injuries are a big one too that have made people fall. Like Stephon Diggs would be a decent example in the fact that he was a fourth round pick, I believe. He actually might have been a fifth. I think he was a fifth. But he actually fell because he played for Maryland, so it wasn't a big school, but he was also injured for basically a full season 1 year in college. So that's, some teams look at that and they don't have as much game tape on them, so they might not want to, take that plunge with an early pick. Then you also have your undrafted guys that they might have fallen because they were small, or
Yeah,
Heck, they were a QB in college, like a Julian Edelman.
that's
But
exactly where my mind went when you said they were small too, or Wes Welker. That's
Wes
like all of
Welker.
Brady's. Yeah, all of Brady's little receivers that did incredible for so long. Yeah.
And it was actually funny as I was listening to a different podcast. I don't think it was the Kelsey's podcast, but they were talking about, no, it was not, but they talked about how having a former, they actually didn't name names, but you could figure out that they were talking about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And they actually talked about when you have a wide receiver that used to be a quarterback, the connection that a quarterback can build with that player is different than any other wide receiver, because that wide receiver or tight end, or you can just say pass catcher, was a quarterback. So they know all the things, or they know when they're running through a zone, they know what the QB is looking at and what he wants. And that's why they were talking about how Travis Kelce, unnamed, it was implied. A lot of times they might call a play and he might not even remotely run the route, just because when he goes, he sees where he needs to go in the zone. And Patrick Mahomes knows that Travis knows, so he'll throw it to where he knows Travis is going to be.
Wait, back up real quick. So was Travis Kelce a quarterback in college?
Yes, he was a quarterback for Cincinnati. Yeah, well, for part of it. And then he was a tight end.
Okay. Yep. I did not know that. You just taught me something new today. That is good to know.
Yep. So yeah, former QB, they know different things, and they see the field different too.
So who was that? You remember that he was like a 28-year-old quarterback coming into the league. I think he played for the Cowboys, or was it the Browns?
Yeah, drafted by the Browns. He did play for the Cowboys after. It was Brandon Weeden. Yeah, he was a
wide receiver. I remember him. Or was he a wide receiver?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
I don't know why.
You're thinking of a wide receiver what turned into a quarterback? You thinking of Terrell Pryor?
Maybe.
Terrell Pryor
I was thinking the opposite direction. A quarterback that turned into a wide receiver.
A quarterback you're thinking wide receiver turned into a quarterback?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Well, I actually think this is pretty crazy that I actually think he fell off because of like attitude issues, Terrell Pryor. But because I think people supposedly he was like a horrible teammate and like a lot of people didn't like him. But I actually think what Terrell Pryor did is one of the most impressive things that someone's done, in that he was a professional quarterback. He won some games. He wasn't like amazing. But then while in the NFL, he transitioned and he had over 1,000-yard season as a wide receiver, which is pretty remarkable to do at the NFL level, to be an NFL, start games at QB, and then also go on to I lost you, Andy. I think it's pretty impressive that Terrell Pryor, while in the NFL, made the transition to wide receiver and had 1,000-yard season.
Is there any other players that you think have done that?
While in the NFL?
While in the
NFL, I don't think there's been a successful attempt. I mean, like what? Tim Tebow was a quarterback, and then he signed with the Patriots as a tight end, but in preseason they got cut, I believe, right?
Oh, that's true.
But in the NFL, I don't think there has been. Not off the top of my head.
One of the only ones, yeah.
Because you got to think, you're facing the best of the best. You literally have to be a phenomenal athlete to be able to do that. I guess you could say there's been players like on defense that have been like maybe safeties that became linebackers, etc.
Yeah, that's probably
that's a little bit easier.
Transition.
Yeah, that's probably one of the easier transitions, or being like a corner to safety. I mean, easy being it's not remotely easy.
What about, you remember Miles Jack from Jacksonville that drafted him?
Yeah.
In college, he was a running back and a middle linebacker.
Oh, that's pretty wild. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. That's a hell of it. And nowadays, Travis Hunter.
I was about to say Travis Hunter.
Oh, you beat me to it. Yep. You were thinking it, actually, but I said it. There's a lot of different things like that going on nowadays. What do you think of Travis Hunter, actually, and his double position? I'll tell you my perspective first. Puts him at risk for injuries, literally double the amount. If you lose him, it's like losing two players now, which really would suck.
Yeah.
You have to find his replacements for literally double the positions. Is that worth having him on the field for that amount of plays?
Maybe on the college level, I don't think a team he would have to have a team. I think most teams come draft are going to tell him that either you got to pick, or we believe you're a wide receiver, or we believe you're a corner. I personally think, well, one, for the NFL, the shape you would have to be in to play both sides, and one, you're not going to be able to play all the snaps both sides. And let's say he's the best wide receiver on a team, but he plays a 13 play drive on defense. Is he going to be? How are you going to then sit out for the kickoff and then come back and play on offense? I personally would have him play corner in the NFL. I think he's a very good corner. I think he's a good wide receiver too. I think he might be a little bit better. I think he's a better corner. But then I would still sprinkle him in. I think it's easier to sprinkle him in on the offense. Maybe 3-4 plays a game. You throw him in there, give him a couple routes as a slot or an outside or a decoy or on an end around or whatever. Just a couple plays. Let him go the Dion route where he plays corner. Yeah, or Devin Hester. Yeah, he plays corner and you just let him play a couple plays on offense because he is a playmaker with the ball. And he's got great hands. But so I would just sprinkle him in there. But I would just come out and tell him, hey, you got to play corner. I would tell him, one, you're going to have a high draft pick because he could theoretically be the number one player picked. But I would just straight up come out and tell him, hey, we're going to draft you as a corner, but we are going to get you involved on the offense. And I would shoot for maybe 3 touches a game, 4 touches a game. And then I think it'd be pretty good setup for him. Because I think
wherever he goes, he could make an impact because you know what? If they want to use him at wide receiver, they could do that too. I don't know. What if he goes to like the Eagles or something who are stacked kind of at both positions? They have Devontae Smith. They have A.J. Brown. They just drafted 2 corners in Cooper DeJean and some other guy, right?
Yeah.
They drafted 2 corners. I remember that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. But what if he's a nickel corner and a slot guy?
Yeah, he could.
Comes in for, I don't know, half the plays of each. He could play both.
Yeah, you'd have to see. You might be able to. I just think the NFL is different than the college game. You might be able to get away with it in college, but I think you might not be able to get away with it in the pros just because you're facing everyone is pretty close to being as good as you. That was that was an insane catch.
That was incredible. Who was that? 89?
I don't even know.
Rager?
The first round perennial all-pro Jalen Rager.
Jalen Rager, that was his first name. I thought it was Nelson. That was a hell of a grab.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm surprised he caught that. He's got the biggest butterfingers in the world. He always eats popcorn before the games, supposedly.
He's like that guy from Longest Yard.
Yeah, he's got butter on his fingers. Don't worry, he'll probably cause an interception in a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great grab. So as we've been going through, I've taken into account what you've been talking about with little clips. So far, I've got a clip of what the Titans got moving forward, a clip of why you need to draft a running back in the later round or wide receiver, actually. We start at running back, but we can kind of probably concise those into 2. What the Titans I already said that one. Sellers at the trade deadline. I don't know why I wrote that in here. I don't remember.
I just said the Titans would beat sellers.
Oh, okay. And then the best spot to get a wide receiver or running back, and then position transitions. So we can have a few different clips off of what we've got so far.
Perfect.
I don't know when you plan on eating dinner or.
Yeah, relatively soon. I think I got one more topic we can talk about. It's going to be mostly you probably.
Okay.
Talking though is Oh wow! I thought that was a good pick. Yeah, that was a good pick. Bryce. But I mean, this is a tough game for Bryce to come in.
It is.
Broncos got a good D. Oh, it wasn't Jalen. I thought that would be Jalen.
Oh, I thought he caught that for the Saints.
They dropped it.
All right, but
Okay,
Go to
so
topic, and then we can finish up here. I know you want to probably put Frankie to bed and stuff. So,
all right, so 3, 2, 1. All right, so we talked a little bit about wide receivers. Now, who is the Packers' number one wide receiver? And are they a true number one wide receiver?
yes, Romeo Doubs.
Romeo Doubs is the number one.
He's
Now,
the number one.
Explain that to me.
He always has been. There's just too many mouths to feed. So I'd say Romeo Doubs, he's the number one because when on those third downs, when you need to have a first, that's who he throws to.
Okay.
Every time. If you see that, I don't know, you probably don't watch the games as much as I do, but third downs, he's going to Doubs. He's going to the guy that he knows about. And there's a reason he came back and did so well. It's because I think that I was like, you're still my dude. Don't fucking worry. He got suspended for the game for the Packers, due to some circumstance that nobody really knows besides people on the team.
Yeah.
He got suspended, came back, had a 2-touchdown game, had over 100 yards, had a touchdown the next week, and I think it was like 75 yards, and then came back today. He did all right today, not a touchdown, but still did all right. But also Jordan Love got hurt halfway through. So, I mean, but I still think he's the number one. He's like Donald Driver a little bit. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
He's consistent. He's not fast, not like game-breaking speed, but he has the ability to get open when he needs to.
Yeah. Now, was Donald Driver ever the Packers' number one?
Oh, I never thought of that. What if he wasn't? Well, was he ever the number one? Because there was like, I don't know if he ever was.
Yeah, it was Jennings.
Well, before Jennings, he was there. And before that, it was Javon Walker, who had a 1,200-yard season and a 13 touchdown season there. And before that, it was the Brett Favre era.
Yeah.
Because he was there when Favre was around. He was there in the later Favre years.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was probably the number one between when, what's his face? Sterling there. Sterling Sharp. Yeah, before he got hurt, or right after he got hurt, Donald was probably the number one. Let me look that up. When was Donald Driver drafted? But I don't really know if he was ever a number one. But
well, then I would just say, does that make Doubs not a number one?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because what you described is not. I feel like it's just a high end number two.
I honestly agree. That's the problem. I think I gotta retract my answer. Who is the Packers' number one wide receiver? So Donald Driver was drafted in 1999, actually.
Really? Wow, darn. When was Javon? Wasn't that around when Javon Walker was? He was there before Javon Walker then.
Yeah, he was there before that. Javon Walker.
03? 02?
No. Javon Walker was drafted before that.
Really?
1997 he was drafted.
Wow. Really? What?
Oh, wait, no. I'm looking at this wrong.
I was going to say, he was on the Super Bowl team then?
No, I was definitely wrong.
Oh, no, that wouldn't have been on the one that went to Super Bowl.
He was drafted in 2002.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'd say, I don't know. I still think it's got to be Doubs. Oh, actually, no, Jaden Reed. Could it be? Because, I mean, that's kind of like the conversation. Was Cobb ever Rodgers' number one receiver?
I don't think so.
Or was it Jordy? That's because I think
Cobb and Jordy. I think Jordy was your number one.
That's kind of how I see Doubs, as the Jordy. And then Jaden Reed is obviously Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christian Watson is Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, Christian Watson's.
Yeah, he's like got the game-changing speed and got all the intangibles, but for some reason he just doesn't know how to catch the ball sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't like click for some reason. But how about? I mean, is there going to be eventually a QB controversy in Green Bay? My gosh, that throw from Willis.
There will never be a QB controversy. Yeah. I can tell you that. You know what's going to be again? Malik Willis is going to do. No, he's not going to get traded. What I think is going to happen is the Matt Flynn route, where
he goes somewhere else and then he
goes somewhere else. He's going to get fucking paid to go somewhere else because of these few games that he had. And then he's going to end up going somewhere else after that because he didn't get a chance to start where he was originally gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to end up leaving the league because of he's actually not what people think he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to get paid to go somewhere else. The Packers get I don't know, whatever free agent draft pick they get out of it or compensation, and then they'll move on. That's what always ends up happening. And you know what? It's probably going to happen. It's going to end up on the Vikings somehow.
There we
All
go.
Packers players
Malik.
end up on the Vikings or the Oakland Raiders or Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, Las Vegas Raiders. They're another franchise. They're so incompetently ran. You know what? Our last topic. This is Aaron Rodgers has completely screwed the Jets for multiple years, I believe, because they just traded for his boy, and now they've lost 2 more games. I don't see how they like remotely make the playoffs. He's banged up still. He's old.
They're not.
I think there is
not in that league.
There's not. It's. I think it's.
They lost
Tom.
The Patriots.
I know the Patriots are bad, and I think Tom Brady playing till what? He played till he was like 44, 45, but that isn't normal. I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And you saw it with Peyton Manning when he was 39 or 40, his arm fell off. Drew Brees, when he retired this last year, you could tell he just didn't have the arm anymore. He had the head, but Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have the body anymore. He's like a statue back there. Their O-line's not good, and something looks off there. I think he got Saleh fired, which.
Want to know the funniest thing about that? Saleh was in Green Bay this past week.
Oh yeah,
and he's gonna join the Packers because Matt LaFleur was the best man in his wedding. They're like very close.
Oh really? That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yes, they're like bestest of friends. But anyways, what's gonna end up happening? He's gonna join the Packers coaching staff, and Rodgers is gonna have to watch Robert Saleh with the Lombardi Trophy go through Green Bay.
There you go.
That would be the ultimate just fuck you.
Yeah, I know. How about that though? How about how absolutely I feel like last year and this year the AFC has been dominant.
Yep.
Especially in the regular season, you're like all your good teams, a lot of your good teams are in the AFC. But this year the NFC is wild.
Specifically the NFC North.
Yeah, the NFC North is bonkers. You got the last seed has got 2 losses. Or they're about to have 3. Chicago Bears will be 4-3, but that's bonkers. 4-3 in your last in your division. That is an absolutely bad way to lose a game. Oh, does he ever go down? Yep, knee down. Okay.
But yeah, the NFC is pretty dangerous this year. I'd agree there. I mean, Washington came out of nowhere. Nobody expected them to be nearly as good as they are. But Jaden Daniels, he's showing flashes, man. He's just
your guy.
Yeah.
You're a big Jaden Daniels guy.
I am. I like Jaden Daniels. He's a great player. Oh my God. Did they just But anyways, Jaden Daniels, who would have thought? And you know what? I was not expecting him, but for some reason I decided at the beginning of the year I'm gonna put money on Washington to win their division.
There you go, baby. Let's go.
I got it at like plus 900, yeah.
Because they look good, man. They're playing complete football. Jaden, well, you know what it is? They just needed an actual good quarterback. You have Terry McLaurin, who is a dynamite, and their defense is playing good. And you know what, too, is I think it helps is Snyder not being there anymore. You got a competent owner who cares. I mean, their stadium is still the worst in the NFL, but whatever. But I think having competent people in high places helps out a lot. Just like I think having a good head coach really helps out young quarterbacks and helps out just players in general. I think coaching in the NFL is one of the sports where coaching has a huge influence on the game and on wins and losses.
I'd agree. It does. If you don't have a good coach, you don't want to play for him. That's the thing.
For sure.
I mean, I also have his high school football experience, but
you got to have buy-in.
Yeah, if you don't believe in your coach, why would you want to pretty much play?
Oh, the Browns are clowning on the Panthers.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Oh my God.
Oh, the comeback. I'm kidding. It's 28 to 7.
It's over. But yeah, if you don't have a good coach, you don't have a good team.
For sure.
Because there really hasn't been like any Super Bowl winner with a shitty coach.
Yeah, no, you got to have. Yeah, if you're gonna go to the Super Bowl, you got to have a good coach. And I think there's some good coaches. There's not a lot. But you know what? AFC, you got Andy Reid, gangster.
Yeah, he's always going to be a good coach. Mike McDaniel he's a play caller. Apparently he needs Tua though. He's nothing without Tua and a quarterback, which I was not expecting. I was really expecting Tyreek and Achane and all of their other 4-3 players to actually be able to make some plays, but they haven't been able.
I think they definitely had a drop off with their backup, probably more than other teams. But I do think if you have incompetency at backup quarterback, there's a reason they're a backup quarterback. You might be able to fake it for a bit and make them play good.
Uh-huh.
But once you get some tape on a backup quarterback, if they're a backup quarterback, they're going to start playing like a backup quarterback. But you got Andy Reid, Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches. You got Sean McVay. It's always going to be a good coach.
They're all from that same tree too.
Yep. The Shanahan tree is very, very good. I do think, I don't know how it'll be as a head coach. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry. I'll look up his name too. Oh, the Lions offensive coordinator granted, the way they've built that roster is insane. They have
players.
They got that offensive line is leaps and bounds, in my opinion, the best offensive line in the NFL. You got 2 running backs who are just game wreckers. I mean, they have 2 starting running backs.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. That's the offensive.
Sam Laporta. Yeah, Ben Johnson. Sam Laporta, gangster.
He has not been doing well this year, though.
He hasn't. But I think it's because literally everyone's eating, and it just hasn't been his turn. I mean, Jared Goff has been bonkers.
Baker Mayfield threw it 50 times today.
That's a lot of times. That's too many times.
K. Dotton.
Yeah, wow, tight end. Tight end. It was tight end, whatever, appreciation day or tight end.
National Tight End Day.
Tight ends went off today. I should have started a tight end in my flex.
Tucker Kraft did too, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they were. It was. I gotta remember. I gotta mark it in my calendar to start a tight end. Yeah, because they've fed him. Wow, that was a great lucky interception.
Yeah, that was very lucky.
I mean, good play by whoever 34 is. I don't even know what 30. Rodgers.
Yeah, Chase Brown, 12 rushes for 32 yards though. He got a touchdown.
Yeah, offenses have been booty. Sure. Fucking KC.
Yep. I was really hoping they would lose today.
Nah, they got too much ref help.
They always do. That's the thing. That's just I thought he was about to die.
Yeah, that didn't look good. I don't know how he got out of that. Go, Caleb. Get some freaking points. You got like 5 points for me right now.
He needs to do something. So who's your biggest surprise of the season? And we can wrap it up here.
Biggest surprise, Jaden, probably Daniels. Jared Goff is a big surprise. I mean, I thought he was a good quarterback, but he's been playing real good.
Honestly, I expected him to do well. They had really done well all last season. But his stats in a dome, have you ever looked those up? Jared Goff in a dome is unstoppable. Like, his numbers break the internet.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know.
After this, but he is incredible if there is no elements. And, of course, the Lions play in a dome, so he has that every home game.
Yeah, that helps.
And a lot of his games on the road, they are also in a dome this season.
Yeah, I know. That helps out a lot then.
Yeah, so Minnesota in a dome.
Minnesota's a big surprise.
Yep.
Yeah, they got dome. Yeah, you got the Packers and Bears.
Packers, they were expected to be good this season, I think. I mean, I'm a homer, but
no, yeah,
they were expected to be good, not great. And I think they've been good, not great. The Lions, I expected to be great. They've been great. The Bears, I expected the Bears to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
They've been okay, though. And then the Vikings, I expected the Vikings to be very bad.
Yeah,
and they have surprised. I'd say they are the biggest surprise of the season.
Yeah, very well could be. I mean, Sam Darnold's playing like he's an NFL quarterback.
No, who would have thought? Yeah, Sam Darnold left the Jets too.
Yeah,
because Rodgers forced him out pretty much. Same with Robert Saleh. It all comes back. Rodgers is a cancer now.
Yeah, I think he's an organization killer.
But Vikings probably the biggest surprise. Sam Darnold specifically and running that offense so well. Justin Jefferson, everybody expected to be him good. for him to be good. And you know what? He is. Surprise, surprise, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones, I thought he would do very well. He's done pretty damn well too. Can't complain there. Their defense, though, the Vikings defense is kind of scary.
They played good, but they didn't play good against the Lions or the Rams. So we'll see if we can. Hopefully, they didn't get found out.
They're an unstoppable offense.
And we had a shot to win that game.
Yeah,
and then
the Rams Cooper Kupp and Nakua back.
I know it's probably a little bit of a surprise that both of them are coming back. Short week, just played the Lions. I mean, I'm not nervous about the season per se, just because we should still be a good team.
But the playoffs and facing them again.
We'll see. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Who the Vikings got up the next few games?
We got the Colts. We got Flex this Sunday night. I mean, if we lose the Colts, my gosh, should beat the Colts. We just got out of our hard stretch of the schedule.
Okay, and you're still at 6-2, 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2. Yeah, and we got the Colts. That game got flexed, so that should be. I mean, they should win that game. I don't see how if they lose that game, that's bad. And then you got the Jags, should be a win again. Titans should be a win. Bears should always a hard game, divisional game. You got the Cardinals, that could be a hard game too. Falcons,
never know with Falcons. Yeah,
that should be interesting. Turkey boy,
that'll be an interesting game, especially for the Vikings with Kirk Cousins coming back. And you know what? They're hitting their stride now. Is the thing.
Yeah,
the Falcons they put up a bunch of points today.
Yep, and they got a good, dangerous amount of weapons on offense.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney is killing it there. Drake London is having a career year. Who knew Kyle Pitts is still alive? He scored today.
Yep.
And then Bijan Robinson, arguably their best weapon.
For sure. Yeah, and then you just got you got a little bit of a tougher stretch. You got the Bears again, Seahawks, Packers, Lions, baby. And with the hard divisional games, we'll see. But we do have a little bit of a softer stretch here with Colts, Jags, Titans. So hopefully that's 3 wins. That's 8-2. And then, hey, you only got to win 2 more games to be 10-7. You know?
Yeah.
What about the Packers?
Next week is the Lions.
Oh, baby.
That's a tough one. The Lions, and I think the Bears, and then Miami.
Full health Miami.
Full health.
If they stay healthy.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know all of them after that, but 49ers are in there too. So Lions, Bears, 49ers, then Dolphins, and then Lions again.
Oof.
And then Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, Bears.
That's a tough little stretch right there, though. When you got the Lions mixed in there with some other good teams.
Yep, that's a tough one. Well, we got we got the hard game out of the way right in the beginning, which was the Eagles. I thought that would be the toughest game of the season, and they lost that. They beat the Rams, which I was nervous about. I expected to beat the Vikings at the beginning of the season. Now I'm very scared about the Vikings, especially because we played them home first, I believe. So we play in Minnesota next game. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised though if that's usually a split. Split those divisional games.
Divisional games are always interesting. You never know which way it can go. Like that NFC West, that whole division, they just constantly split games or tie or something. You never know what's going to go on with that division. They have some crazy divisional games.
For sure, Andy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to go eat here. I'm getting hungry.
Sounds good, Andy. We'll cut it.
That's the end, everybody.
Hasta la vista.